Hi everyone, welcome back to our YouTube channel Zero Analyst. This is the video 2 of our Excel series. I know last video I have uploaded long back. I was busy with some of the other urgent tasks. Now I have decided to continue this series and share as much as insight that is possible. If you have completed the last video, that's great. And if you have not completed the last video, go ahead and watch the last video. So let's see the task, and this is going to be a really easy one because I will be breaking down each and everything in very easy way. So let's go ahead and start the video. If you're new to the channel, make sure to hit the subscribe button and like the video. If you have any doubt with any functions and with anything, make sure to write a comment. I will get back to you. So let's first go ahead and launch Excel and let's see what are the things we are going to learn today. Now I will try to bring as many as important logic or function that I'm using in my day-to-day task so that you can actually learn from real world cases, right? So let's go ahead and let's see the file. Why should you learn Excel, right? So every day, whatever things you're doing, you will be using Excel. I mean, if you're already working, you already know Excel is the first tool that everyone will prefer to maybe view the simple of the data or to maybe create the projects. So if you learn more and more Excels, that's going to be really, really helpful for your first job or maybe the second or third job, whatever the job you're working. So more you learn, more you practice, you will be enhancing your skills in Excel, which is going to really helpful for your next job. So these are the functions that we will be learning today. First one is the very easy one, which is len. All these functions are very, very useful and I'm using it every day. And I'm sure it's going to be really helpful for you and you will be learning by end of this video all these functions. I can promise that. So the first one is the len functions. So len function basically check the length of text. So len is the short form of length. So here you see the name, right? So sometimes we want to see the length of this text starting from here to here, right? So here if we have any blanks, that is also count. One blank is basically one as a length. So what if we want to check the length of this name, right? So the first way to enter any functions in a cell in Excel is simple equal sign, and then you start typing the function. So we can simply say len, so that means len, and you see in this parenthesis we just have to select that cell. So we can select this cell or we can select the dynamic range. So if I select this cell, len is showing as a 10. Now if you count, in John we have 4, right? And in Smith we have 5. So how it is 10? Because we have one space, that space is also being counted. Now what if we have more space after this h? That is also going to be counted. So if I add some more space, okay, you see it is now showing as a 16. Next functions we will see how to remove the extra space, which is before and after. So this is how you can use the len functions. Now if you double click, it is going to apply it for all this, right? What if we want to check the len for this? It's simple. You can simply go ahead and say equals then len, and then you just select it, done. So I hope you have learned this function. It's very easy one and it's very, very useful. No matter how much more things you learn, this function you will always need to use it. Let's say from here I want to see the longest name, correct? So if in case I have thousands of data and I want to see which name is the longest, right? So that we can set a limit of entering this name. So for that we can simply go ahead and combine with one function which is called max. Okay, so I can simply go ahead and say, let's say for the address, okay, for the address we want to see the longest address. Okay, so which one is the longest address, or what is the maximum length of this address? So here maybe it's going to be 30, here maybe it's going to be 29. So we can check simply using len. So we can say len, okay, and let's say we select this range, the entire range. Okay, so we are getting a dynamic array, right, for their length. So now we want to only see the maximum length, right? So here I can simply go ahead and say max, okay, and inside this max functions I'm adding the len, because for max functions this length are just the number, right? For max function it doesn't know this text. You cannot see the max in the text, right? So max function will need a series of number and it is going to give you the maximum, the biggest number. So if I say enter the 20, right? So if I add some more address like this, you will see it's 31. So it's actually picking this one. So this is the reason you should focus on the basic fundamentals of Excel, which is going to be helpful for you. Now this len function is useful for any programming language. Maybe it's a Python, maybe it's a SQL, maybe it's a Power BI. You will need to use these functions a lot of the time. So let's move to the next function, which is going to be trim. why we should learn trim functions. So when you are cleaning data, you will see sometime there are some extra space. Now I'm working on some of my real projects where I'm getting the data from some of the REST API. So the data are coming in unorganized way. So I have to figure it out how to clean the data, and mostly the data are having so many extra space and so many extra delimiters. So more you learn how to clean the data, that's going to make your life really easy. So here, first one, which is going to be trim. So trim is just going to remove the trailing and leading space. What is trailing space? Any space that is before this x, before this e, that's going to be removed, and any space after this, that's going to be removed. Any space in the middle, that's not going to be removed. We can see how to remove that maybe later on. So here I can simply go ahead and say trim. Okay, now how do we find out if there is extra space or not? That's where the len is going to be useful. So if you check here, okay, so len for this, it's telling 36, right? But if you count, xl is 5, then 7, then another which is 5, so 12, and then one space 13, should be 13, right? But it's showing as a 36. Why? So to identify that problems, to fix that issue, we can simply go ahead and say trim, and we select this one. Okay, and now if I check the length of this, okay, so if I check length of this time it's showing 14, right? So it's xl 5, 5, 10, and then 2 space, and this is, which is 14. So you see why the length function is useful. So trim, simply it remove the initial space and the ending space, that's it. So for data cleaning, it's very useful. If we just double click, it's going to apply it for all. So all the datas are clean now, right? We can just name it, called clean, right? Clean data. So perfect. Now let's go ahead and see the next function, which is going to be concat, right? So these are the very basic function, but very useful. So this is the reason I'm not giving multiple example. As soon as you kind of do 2 or 3 times, you will never forget this functions. So by the name, you know that concat is basically combining 2 texts. So when we combine 2 texts or more than 2 texts together, that's called concat. So concat functions we have in any programming language, and it's also very useful. So here I have an example. I have the first name, last name, and their age. Okay, and I have this domain, which is kind of Gmail and Hotmail. Now I want anyone who's having age more than 50. Okay, for them you should create their email like this: first name, last name, age @hotmail. Okay, when their age is more than 50. If it is less than 50 or equals to 50, then Gmail. So this is the task. So you can pause the video and let's see if you can solve it. You can write your queries or functions in the comment box, and I'm going to solve it now. So first of all, we have to kind of go ahead and write a simple logic. Okay, so we can go ahead and first of all figure it out which are the names which is above 55, correct? So we can simply go ahead and say if, okay, this age is, if this age is greater than 50, okay, if it is greater than 50, then what? Then we can simply go ahead and say that above 50, right? Above 50. We can do some other logic as well, but I'm just giving an example because we learned if logic in the last video. I hope you remember that. And otherwise we want below 50. Okay, so below 50, or it's going to equals to 50. Why? Because we are saying if it is above 50, so that means even 50 is not included in this logic. So anything is true, that is this, otherwise it is this. Okay, so right now if I just go ahead and show you, we have this one is above 50, so this one should be Hotmail. Okay, so let's see how we can kind of solve this, okay, with one functions or with 2 functions. So I will simply go ahead and say concat. So first let me show you how concat works. Okay, you say concat, and then you select your first text, then you can say comma, then you can say second text. If you close it, it's concatenated 2 text. Okay, this one, it can be more than 2, it depends on you. Okay, cool. Now what if I want to add some space? I'm just showing. So if you want to add some space here, you cannot just add a space. If you add a space, it will not consider, because space is a text. So you have to kind of add it in double quotes. Okay, in Excel, if you are working with text, you have to always define in double quotes. So if I add a space, now you see this space. Okay, so any more characters that you add, like the custom characters, you need to define it under double quotes. Okay, or if it is in the cell, you can just pick the cell. So this is cool. Now let's say we don't want space, but we want something like at the rate. So you got the logic, right? Now let's go ahead and build the logic. Okay, so we are saying concatenate, and we want this name. Okay, then we want this name, then we want this age. Okay, then here's the thing. Okay, then we want at the rate. Okay, cool. Now we would want either Gmail or Hotmail, but how we define, right? So we can, here we can use the if logic, and then based on if logic we can add this. Okay, so I will go ahead and use like if, and I can go ahead and say if this age is kind of greater than 50, then I would want to use it as a, what is it called, Hotmail. Okay, and Hotmail, then I need to use .com. Okay, because I did not use the .com in this here. Okay, so this is fine. Now otherwise I would use I cannot use dot here. Okay, so otherwise I would want this. Okay, so this is perfect. Now I would need to add one more. Okay, which is .com. Now this is maybe getting complicated, but I will explain. Okay, so I'm saying concatenate, so I'm selecting the first text, which is this one, then second text, which is this one, and then I'm selecting the age, which is this one. Okay, and then if we do not need age, you can exclude it. Just for example, I'm showing, then I'm adding the @ sign, then after the @ sign I have to add hotmail.com or like gmail.com, right? So we already have Gmail and Hotmail option here, but it has to follow a age rules. So this is the reason I'm using if logic. Okay, so if I just now hit enter, you see, so this time it kind of applied. Okay, so this age is below. Okay, here one thing. Okay, here one thing, we have to log this. Okay, so let's see, you see above. Okay, it's not entering the Gmail and Hotmail. This is a common issue in Excel. So because we have used in the if logic, we have used this. As soon as I double click, it will keep changing. You just focus on this, right? So here it should always check if in case condition is true, then we pick like Hotmail, otherwise we pick Gmail, right? So Hotmail is in this cell, which is going to be our I2, and Gmail is going to be, Hotmail is in I3, Gmail is going to be on I2, right? But you see here, it's instead of checking the rule here and then picking from here, it is picking from here because it is working as a dynamically, right? So for this, if the age is above 50, then it kind of check and pick from here. So we just have to lock this range. Which range? We have to lock this range, which is of I3. You can simply press $sign before I and $sign after I, and then $sign before I. Oops. $sign before I and $sign after I, or you can just press F4 functions in your system. Okay, now if you double click, you will see that it is not changing. Okay, these two things are not changing. It is still referencing to this I3 and I2. Okay, so I hope you learn something new here and experiment with this, because this is later you will get to know and you will have a lot of problems if you do not lock that a cell. Okay, so this is done. Let's move to the next functions, and you can build some more logic based on different parameters. You can decide by yourself. So we have a left functions and the right functions. Is very simple. We can pick from the left side, and right function we can pick from the right side. So in the left, it's very simple. You select left, you select the cell, and let's say how many character you want, number of characters. Always read the functions. You don't need to remember it. Once you practice 1 or 2 times, you just have to read the number. So you're going to say left, and let's say I just need one. Okay, one number, this left side, or maybe I need kind of the first 3 characters, so I can define it as a maybe 3. Okay, so it's picking 1 2. Okay, if I double click, it's done. Okay, now we can define Okay, so let's go ahead and say right. In the right, I select this one, and let's say I need last three. Okay, so I select the cell, I say I need 3. Okay, I'm getting 136. Here I'm getting 9824. Okay, cool. This is very easy one. Now what if we need which is going to be anything after, like, what if we need to find out anything after this last delimiters? Okay, so first delimiter, second delimiter, and the last delimiter. So anything that is coming after this, I need this. So here we have 1 2 3. Okay, here we have 1 2 3 4. So that one you need to figure it out, and you can write down in the comment box how we can find out 136 here, 136 here, then 9824. Okay, and then 7724. Okay, so come up with your own functions and write it down in the comment box, and I will surely reply to you. If you are stuck, let me know. I will make another video for this. Let's go to the next one, which is very simple, and this one is also very useful, Excel functions. Now here we just have to use one functions proper. What we need is that, see, sometime when the customers are entering their name, the names are not entered properly. So sometimes you see the lowercase in the initial and then the uppercase. So we need to properly, you can say, properly enter the name, right? If in case not entered properly, you cannot showcase like this way. So we can simply use something called proper. So simply use Excel proper. It's proper, this functions, and you just select this range, and you see these names are actually transformed from this, right? Do you see this in W is transformed, right? So proper means the first, and the initial is going to be kind of capital. So for first name and the last name, we have more name, that's also initial is going to be capital. Okay, very simple one. You don't have to deep down, it's a simple one. You just simply select proper. Same way upper is kind of, you just say upper, it convert to uppercase. Okay, so we say upper, oops, upper, we select A2, and you see it is simply converting it to upper, and lower is going to be same as lower. So if you want lower, so you can say lower and A2 lower. Okay, so lower is going to convert everything lower, upper is going to convert everything upper. Very simple one, but just I included it because sometimes it's useful. So let's go ahead and do a small Excel project. Now I will just solve one problem, rest of the problem you have to solve here. So we have a survey data set, we have a survey ID, date, and some comments that is given by the customers. So what the business is looking from you is to kind of put the rating here. Okay, now there are multiple way you can get the rating, but we would want something like a rating dash this column, then 2. Okay, not just like 2 and maybe 3. Okay, so this is what we need, and then you can find the customer type here, and then experience here. Now here I will be showing you how I can get the rating using simple functions, which we have not talked about, but I will just talk about it here. Okay, so first of all, let's see if in case we have rating in everywhere, right? So we have rating here, we have rating here as well, we have rating here as well. Okay, so the reason why I included is sometime this comment would be different. Like here maybe we can use the locations, like from this to this length we can get it, but sometimes the rating would be in different place. You can see here. Okay, so in this rate, maybe rating is here, in this rating is starting from here. So basically you cannot use the locations. Let's say you want to pick from, maybe here it's like 50, right? 50 to 55, but here it is in different place. So what we can do to solve it? Okay, so we have a functions which is called mid. Using mid functions we can kind of find it out, mid, and we need to combine with search. Like this is what I use. So first of all, let's go ahead and say search. We need to find out if this rating is there or not, right? So let's say we can go ahead and say find text, what we want to find. So we want to find rating. Okay, this is what we want to find, rating dot space. If in case it is found, then just tell us. Okay, where we want to find it here. Okay, start number we can skip it for now. you see the rating is starting in this text, which is at 37. Okay, now if I just double click, you see here it is starting at 47, here it is 41, here it is 40. We got right what I'm trying to say, right? If I just simply mention here functions called mid, so I can say that okay, I need this one. Okay, this text I need starting number 37. Okay, and maybe another, how much rating is going to be 2, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, maybe 9. Okay, oops, if I say 9, I'm getting rating 2, right? Now the problem here is that as soon as I scroll down, here it will not work, because here it is not starting with 47, right? Here it is not starting with 37, here it is starting with 47. So either I need to combine these two logic in one place to get the rating. So I can go ahead and say that instead of starting at like 37, like by default at 37, I can use these functions. Okay, so this is what I will be doing. So I will just remove the 37 and I put this function. Okay, rating 2. Okay, let's double click. Cool. So you can say we are getting all the ratings, right? Now here if you check, we can verify it. So rating is 4, it's 5 here. Okay, it's 2, it's 5, S3 is 1. Okay, so you don't have to do all those things. You can simply use the flash fills functions by Excel, but sometimes the flash fill will not work. This is the reason I'm kind of showing you to find a manual way. So we are using two functions. One is the search functions and one is we are using the mid function. So we are combining two. What if I just want to implement everything in one place? So I would just need to say mid. Okay, so you need to understand what does mid function does. So mid is asking from which text you are returning. You want something to be returned. Like we are looking for a slice, you can say. So we say, okay, from this text. Then they're saying, okay, from what number you want to start the slice. So from this, let's say we only want this portion, right? Rating 2, 2. So maybe it is from 37 to kind of this, whatever the range is. So we say, okay, starting number is 37. Now we do not know, let's say starting number, right? So we can use a simple function called search. Search is going to give us the starting number. So we can simply say search. And now search is asking, we're inside the search now. Search is asking what is the text you are looking to find for the location, right? So we can say text, what we're looking for is, we need to give the text. Okay, so we will say text as like rating. Okay, if rating is found, okay, if rating is found, then it is going to return the number at what the R is started. Okay, if it is not found, then it is going to throw an error. So we can deal with the error later on. For now you are just learning the basic. Okay, so if I just tell this is not going to just give me the entire functions, because I still need to tell how many character I want once the rating is found from this starting number. So this is going to give us the starting number. That's great, like 37, 47. Then we need how many? 1, 2, 3. So maybe kind of 6, 7, 8, 9 characters. So we can say 9. Now maybe in later one more video I will explain, even if you do not know what is the length, maybe for this range. So we can use it dynamically. We can say before experience, anything before experience we want, and anything after rating dot this column we want. We can get the exact number. So we can simply say hit enter. So here I have not added one thing, which is what to find, where to find for the search. So for the search also we need to tell where we are looking for rating, so that it's going to give us a location. So we can say here in this, okay, C2. Cool. Now we are getting the same, but using simple array functions, where we are using two functions in one place. Okay, so you can see we have the rating. Now I want you to find out this customer type, experience, and this number. Okay, create 3 columns and try to solve it, and definitely this is going to help you to learn these functions. That's it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching the video till the end. If this video was useful, make sure to leave your comment, leave your thought, and if you want to include something in the next video, let me know in the comment box. See you next time. Take care. Have a good day. Bye bye.